Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to the FC's Football channel. And the Premier League is back, baby. It is back like it never bloody left. It's Burnley versus Manchester City today for the watch-along. How is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Sorry, we are a little bit late. The news on Fred leaving Manchester United. We had to quickly do a stream for that. But we are here now. We are ready for what should be a cracking game. Burnley versus Manchester City. Vincent Kompany up against Pep Guardiola. Obviously, Vincent Kompany, a Pep prodigy, as they like to say. Very interested to see how this Burnley team look. I mean, I can't say I massively watched much of them in the Championship. I watched them here and there. But in truth, do I know really anything about this Burnley side? No, I do not. So it's going to be really interesting and fun for me, at least, to see how they play, how they get on. And it's quite the test, this. Manchester City, the best team, you could argue, in Premier League history last season. One of the best teams in football history last season. Obviously, they were the treble winners. To face that in your first game in the Premier League, it's not an easy task. And that's why I'm excited to see how Burnley get on today. Notoriously, I find Manchester City slow starters in the Premier League, which obviously worked into Burnley's favour. That being said, we saw these two teams match up last season in, was it the FA Cup? Kompany that time out put a very attacking lineup up, and we saw Burnley get kind of decimated, didn't we, really? Different story today. This is how Burnley line up. So it is James Trafford in goal. It's O'Shea as the right centre half. I believe it is a back three, with Dara O'Shea, Bayer and DeCarli as a back three, with Roberts and Vitinho as the two wing backs. Josh Cullen and what's his name? Sanderberg in a midfield double pivot, with Lyle Foster leading the line, with Colosso and Amadou Amaduni. Again, not sure how you pronounce all these names. I'll try and pick it up as the season goes along. Those as kind of the wingers in this 3-4-3 that I have Burnley lining up in today. For Manchester City, it is Edison. Sorry. For Manchester City, it is Edison in goal. Kyle Walker, Akanji, Ake, and Rico Lewis as a back four. Rodri, De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva as a midfield three, with Foden, Alvarez, and Erling Haaland. Now, this could be set up slightly differently for Manchester City. Now, we could see potentially a Phil Foden drop into that midfield role alongside De Bruyne and Rodri instead of Bernardo Silva. And we see Bernardo Silva kind of take up that right wing role with Alvarez on the left. That being said, Alvarez could be on the left in the first place, with Foden on the right. We could even see the 3-2-4-1, which we've seen so often from Manchester City last season, with Walker, Ake, and Akanji being the three centre halves, with Rico Lewis playing in that midfield double pivot alongside Rodri. And then again, that front four with Foden, Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne and Alvarez kind of being mixed up in whatever variation you like to see it. And then, of course, Erling Haaland, the top goal scorer from last season with 36 goals, leading the line for the Citizens. It's not a bad team, is it? It's not a bad team for Manchester City. It'll be a tough ask for Burnley to get anything from this game, let alone a win. I'm really looking forward to it. I've got my fantasy team set up. Am I going to be able to show you lot? Right. Hold on. Am I able to see other people's teams as well now? Go on. No, not quite yet. So, for those of you who care, which I'm sure it's a lot of you, this is my FPL for this season. Well, for this game week at least. So, I've got Ramsdale in goal. Luke Shaw, Gabriel, Espetinian, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, there was debates, do I start Trent or do I start Ake? I went with Trent. Could be a mistake. Jack Grealish obviously is on the bench today for City. So if Grealish doesn't come on, then of course Ake will come on anyway. So it's not that big of a deal. In my midfield, I've got Jack Grealish, Gabriel Martinelli, Bruno Fernandes, Alejandro Garnacho, Erling Haaland, and Evan Ferguson. Now I've gone for Garnacho because at the moment Højlund can't play, neither can Martial, which means Marcus Rashford will move up top centrally, leaving a spot on that left-hand side for Alejandro Garnacho. Now, it will be Garnacho or Jadon Sancho, undoubtedly, that will play in that left-wing role. Through pre-season, Jadon Sancho has kind of been used as a false nine, with Garnacho playing that left-wing role with the first team while Rashford's played centrally. Which leads me to believe we will see Alejandro Garnacho start the season playing left wing. And at 5 million, I thought that was quite the pickup. And then, of course, we've got Erling Haaland and Evan Ferguson. And Erling Haaland, he's my captain for this week. So we're hoping for a couple goals from the Norwegian today. On the bench, I've got Matt Turner. Obviously, he will be the first team regular for Nottingham Forest this year. Now Dean Henderson and Keylor Navas have both left the club from last season. Nathan Ake, again, I've got him in there. He was up for consideration to start. But the Pep roundabout kind of personnel, that kind of scared me a little bit. And that's why he's on the bench. Nicholas Jackson. I mean, he's going to start week in, week out for Chelsea for 7 million. I thought that was a good purchase. And Brian Mbeumo, he's going to be the starting striker for Brentford this season while Ivan Toney is suspended. So it just makes sense to have him in your team, doesn't it? So that is my fantasy football. Let me know yours in the live chat. Let's get chatting as the players walk out for the start of the Premier League, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, James Trafford, he was the hero for England's under-21 teams at the Euros. Or was it the World Cup? I want to say the Euros. Saving that last-minute penalty against Spain and Abel Ruiz. He got his big move to the Premier League after a very successful loan spell last year at Bolton. He starts today against his former club, Manchester City. How will he get on? There is Vincent Kompany. Walks out at Turf Moor. Gets a round of applause from both the home fans and the away travelling fans. It's a big game for him. But there's the Norwegian, Erling Braut Haaland. And there is the Manchester City team. So many experienced winners. So many players who've been there and done it. Not just at this level, but at all levels. But here are the starting lineups once again. For Burnley, it is James Trafford in goal. Again, formerly of Manchester City. At centre, well, in defence, we've got what I have down as a back three of O'Shea, Bayer, and Bakali, with Roberts and Vitinha as your wing backs. Berg and Cullen as your wing backs, as your two central midfielders, sorry, with Amadou, Zakara and somebody else, and Colosia as a front three. Now, Sky have it down as a 4-2-3-1. We'll kind of keep an eye on that and we'll change it should we need to. For Manchester City, it is more straightforward. It is Ederson in goal. It's Kyle Walker. It's Manuel Akanji, Nathan Ake, and Rico Lewis. Now, we could see Rico Lewis kind of invert into that midfield role and it become a back three, but we'll just kind of have to wait and find out upon that. It's a midfield three of Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. Again, Sky Sports is putting it down as a 4-2-3-1 with De Bruyne and Rodri being the double pivot. I think it will be close to a 4-3-3. With then the front line being Phil Foden, Alvarez and Erling Haaland. And of course it would be Bernardo Silva playing alongside De Bruyne and Rodri. It's a big game, and the big games are always the most exciting to watch. So much hype. Let's get predictions going on in chat. Last season at Bolton, James Trafford had the most clean sheets, best save ratio, just to name a few stats that really shows his quality as a goalkeeper. It's a big step up for him, of course it is. Can he take it though? Now, personally, I'm going for a convincing 3-0 win for Manchester City in this game. I got to be honest, I don't see anything else but a Manchester City win. Hoping I am proven wrong though. Burnley can pull something out of nowhere. But we'll just have to wait and find out. It's Manchester City and it's Burnley. It's Vincent Kompany versus Pep Guardiola. It is the champions of the Premier League, the champions of the Champions League and the FA Cup winners versus the Championship winners and the runaway winners at that. Let's be having you. Come on then. We are seconds away from kickoff. We're just waiting for that kick from Foster. They take the knee. I didn't realise we were still taking the knee. But we are away for the 2023-24 Premier League season. And straight away, Burnley have gone long. It's Bayer. Odara. And I think you're looking at it. I think it is a back three. I think we have got it right here. And you can see there, it certainly is a back three. Obviously, Vincent Kompany is quite the tactician. So it's not a rigid back three. Players will come and go from it. But as it goes, it is a back three. think it's O'Shea's the central centre half in that back three. Roberts is definitely on the right as a wing back. Doesn't look like Foster though is at the moment is playing a central role. He's on the right with McCarley, I think that is, running through the centre. Again, I know this isn't how you pronounce all these names. I'm not very good with names. As the season progresses, I'll try and learn them. Edison with a lovely ball forward to Kyle Walker, who's made a great overlapping run. De Bruyne has it now. Finds Bernardo Silva. Rodri just crowded out. And now here is Burnley looking to try and play their way out. De Bruyne fouls him and it's a free kick to Burnley. This really could be a long afternoon for Burnley if they don't get going. Well won already. And here comes Manchester City. Well defended there by Dara O'Shea, but De Bruyne sees it out for a corner to Manchester City. And I tell you what, Burnley, they could be in trouble. There's some big lads in this Manchester City team. You've obviously got Erling Haaland. You've got Rodri, Ake, Akanji. Big lads. And when you've got a player like Kevin De Bruyne who can put it on a sixpence, you're always in danger. They go short. Foden goes out to Bernardo. Back to Kevin De Bruyne. Puts the ball into the box. Rodri heads it back across. And it's Erling Haaland with the goal. We're just 4 minutes in. And Burnley are a goal down. And Erling Haaland has his first of the season. This could get nasty for Burnley. It really, really could. We are a minute into this game. And we are 4 minutes into this game, sorry. And it is Burnley 0, Manchester City 1. It's a great ball in from De Bruyne. Rodri just heads it back. Nobody really picking up Erling Haaland, which is a big worry for Manchester City. It's a lovely head back. And he just finds the corner brilliantly, Erling Haaland. I don't know who's meant to be near him. He's just nobody there. He's so free, and there's one thing you cannot do with Erling Haaland, and that's leave him free in the penalty area. No chance for James Trafford, and it's an early lead for Manchester City. And Burnley are already in trouble. Burnley 0, Manchester City 1. And what? I mean, at least he's picked up for where he's left off, hasn't he? Erling Haaland. He is good. He is bloody good. But what that does mean for me, if we quickly just reload that and we bang over here, Erling Haaland has already got me. He's already getting me points on the board. As Foden moves out to Kevin De Bruyne, who goes for goal from range, and it's always over the bar. It's a really poor effort, really, from Kevin De Bruyne. Foden did well to find it, and Haaland made the run. It looked like De Bruyne faked as if he was going to play the pass, went for goal, and it was a really poor effort. But Erling Haaland, 10 points already for me. What we like to see. It's what we like to see. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please do hit that like button below. Subscribe if you are new and you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated. And get in the live chat. Come on, Phil Foden, says FPL. I assume that's meant to say motherfuckers. I mean, I don't have Phil Foden, so hopefully he doesn't do very well. But look how cool in Manchester City playing out from the back there. Bit of the commentators curse there as Ake knocks it out for a throw-in. But Ederson just playing to Rico Lewis. Such an... Ake brings down Burnley's Zakaria. That looks dubious. Obviously, VAR will check it. That, to me, looks like it could be a foul. We'll see it here. No, I think he goes down too lightly, actually. On second viewing, I don't know. I think he goes down a tad lightly. Not for me. And not for VAR either. You can see Rico Lewis here. He's playing in midfield. It's so... Manchester City, they're so good, aren't they? Rico Lewis is just picking himself up in midfield. Ederson's saying, come on then. Ederson's playing as the centre-back. It's a poor ball looking for Alvarez, though. And here comes Burnley. Kyle Walker fouls the Burnley player. And it is going to be a free kick to Burnley. Obviously, Kyle Walker, he was very close to leaving Manchester City. Obviously, Bayern were a big suitor of his. Bayern looks like they're going to get a deal done for Harry Kane. So Kane will finally get to go win some trophies over in Germany. Whether or not would you rather be... Look, obviously there's always the debate. Harry Kane needs to go somewhere to win trophies. And while I, in a sense, I get that, would not be a bigger feat becoming the top goal scorer in Premier League history be better? That's just me throwing my 2 cents in. Would you not rather be the top goal scorer in Premier League history than go win what is really nothing titles in Bayern in the Bundesliga, because they are gonna win it, aren't they? It's the same way I feel about going to PSG to win it. Arguably, I would say the same about going to Manchester City. At least Manchester City have a little bit of competition. Like you look at last year with Arsenal. This year, and you'd hope Manchester United will also kind of push him. Maybe you could argue a Liverpool or a Chelsea will as well. Whereas, while, yeah, the French league has had Lille and Monaco in the last couple of years win the league, we know PSG are always going to win it 99 times out of 100. We know Man City, they're the same, aren't they? But at least we had Liverpool in years gone by, pushing them all the way, getting 98, 97 points. Unless PSG don't win it, unless Bayern Munich don't win it, they don't have competitors. As Rodri picks it up in midfield. And that is why I don't know if I'm Kane, if I leave for Bayern. Obviously, if he goes on to win the Champions League, which maybe they certainly could win the Champions League, Bayern, then you can make the argument, oh, it was worth it. I mean, he's leaving Spurs, who haven't got European football this year, for a team playing in the Champions League and guaranteed to win league titles. It's not a bad move, don't get me wrong. It's just, you've waited at Spurs for this long. Is now the time you make that move to a club like Bayern, for me. As De Bruyne has it, swings it in, well defended. Man City just can't get it away. Man City are all over Burnley here, and De Bruyne whips it into the back post. Haaland nearly recreating that goal against Dortmund from his Champions League campaign. There's a great ball in from Kevin De Bruyne, aimed to the back post. And Haaland, he's got the outstretched leg. Probably should have left it to Bernardo Silva. But he's just sliding across. Gets his... Well, it's his leg, not his boot. And it goes sailing over. Burnley 0. Manchester City 1. 12 minutes into this tie. Sorry about the squeaking chair. Fortunately, there's not much I can do about it. So we got some news from Fabrizio Romano, just generally about football. As Ederson finds a lovely ball to Julian Alvarez, and that is lovely from Alvarez. And De Bruyne will surge forward, looks to slot in Bernardo Silva or Haaland, but it's just a mix-up in communication. And Trafford has it now and goes long, looking for Roberts, who flicks it on. Burnley can't get it down, and Ake has it and will go back to Ederson. But this is what Fabrizio Romano has tweeted, and it's about Willy Gnonto from Leeds. The relationship between Gnonto and Leeds is completely broken down. He's not willing to play at Birmingham tomorrow. He hasn't travelled and he wants to leave. Agreed terms with Everton already. Leeds insist on their position not for sale. Kyle Walker deals well, but Burnley still have it here. Vitinha. Cullen. Back to Bayer. No more big news really. But I mean obviously we were just discussing King, so I'm not gonna discuss him anymore. But let me know in the live chat, what do you make of the Harry Kane saga? Would you be leaving Spurs for Bayern now, or would you stuck it out another year? I mean, what's interesting, talking about world class strikers, Kylian Mbappe, what's going on with him and PSG? I mean, again, why did he sign that contract? It's stupid. These players, I mean, Gnonto's the same. They sign these contracts and then think they don't mean anything. Mbappe signs a contract last summer. Here is a great chance for Burnley, edge of the box. Fired over by the number 30. I believe this is his first ever start in professional football. Had 6 sub appearances last year for Espanyol. And you can see why he's not starting professional matches with that sort of shooting. But so yeah, he could have went to PSG, no, to Real Madrid, sorry. Signed a new 2-year deal. Has done a year of it and now wants to leave. He's seen as part of PSG's undesirables. It's bizarre because PSG PSG will only sell him for the right price and are refusing to use him, and nobody's coming in at the right price. But surely you can't have Kylian Mbappe on your books not playing for a season. It can't happen. I mean, I guess the same can be said about Lukaku. Who the fuck wants him? He's burnt his bridges at Chelsea by the looks of it. Juventus fans don't want him, even though Juventus themselves do. Inter Milan fans don't want him. He got pissed off at him when he left for Chelsea in the first place. Now he's potentially going to Juventus. They don't like him even more. So Lukaku's burning all his bridges as well. What is it with strikers burning all their bridges and nobody wanting them? It's quite impressive how well these players are how well these players are doing, mugging off their current clubs. And last thing on Kane as well, which if Kane really cared about Spurs as much as he says he does, he would not be leaving now. 3 days. Or 2 days. Or tomorrow even, maybe. When Spurs get their Premier League campaign underway. That is when he's leaving, is it? Great save by Trafford to deny Rodri. It was a lovely ball over the top from Kevin De Bruyne from a free kick. Rodri got his head to it. It would have been offside anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. But James Trafford didn't know that at the time, and it's a good save by the English international. Or the English under-21 international. To deny the Spaniard a second goal for Manchester City today. Apparently Leeds have released a statement. If they have, this is embarrassing. Here is Burnley. Driving through. Straight at Edison. Good save. Good move there from Burnley. It's straight down the neck of Edison. My God, they actually have. This is I just find this embarrassing from Leeds. Club statement, Willy Gnonto. Earlier this week, Willy Gnonto and his representative were informed by the club that he would not be sold this summer. Following those conversations, Willy felt he was unable to play in Wednesday night's Carabao Cup tie with Shrewsbury. Despite training for the last 2 days, Willy informed Daniel Farke that he still does not feel able to play this weekend and has not travelled to Birmingham for the game tomorrow. This is now an internal disciplinary matter, and the club will make no further comment other than to reiterate Willy Gnonto is not for sale. What is the point of making this statement? We knew you didn't want to sell him. All you've now done is badmouth Willy Gnonto. In what world, if you want him to stay, is going, yeah, he wants to leave, but we're not going to let him, ever going to help the situation? When was that ever going to help? I guarantee it hasn't helped. I bet all that he wants to do now is leave even more. Edison goes long. Looking for the knockdown. Haaland wins it. But it was a foul on O'Shea. Trafford. Roberts. Rodri. De Bruyne has it. Erling Haaland. Cullen goes back to Trafford. And he goes long. Rodri does well. Finds Ake. And Manchester City just have the ball again. Just recycling possession. Way down there. And Ake just knocks it out for a throw in. Kevin De Bruyne. Obviously, he got injured in the Champions League final. And apparently, it was a long-term injury that he'd been dealing with. Maybe he's not fully recovered. And it looks like Kevin De Bruyne will not see out the rest of this game. So Haaland will make way. As to who will replace him is still unknown. Edouard Mendy has conceded a shocker in the Saudi League. Lobbed from way outside of his box. Not great. Not a great look. It's Mateo Kovacic who will come on for Kevin De Bruyne. It was a debut. Well, is it a debut? Obviously, Kovacic started in the Community Shield. So in that sense, it's not a debut. It's a Premier League debut, I suppose, for Mateo Kovacic in Manchester City blue. Well, white, I suppose. So Mateo Kovacic on, Kevin De Bruyne out. And let's hope that isn't a long-term issue. Ake walking the ball out of the defence. Goes across to Akanji. To Foden. Long time no see, mate. How are you doing? I'm doing well, mate. I am doing very well. How are you? I agree. Long time no see. Foden brings it down, bringing it forward here for Burnley. Well defended in the end, and James Trafford collects. And we'll look to play. Connor Roberts is there. Looks like they're going to end up going long. No, they will go short into O'Shea. Bayer. Cullen. Moves it out to Vitinha. Who gives it away to Rodri. It's so hard to try and play against this Manchester City team. It's a throw-in for Manchester City. I have to say, I feel like Burnley are doing well. They are coping well. Like I say, this isn't an easy team to play against, this Manchester City team. But they're dealing with it quite well. It's a shame they conceded such an early and sloppy goal, really. But I think they're doing all right here. As Kyle Walker has it. Finds Julian Alvarez. Look for the first time ball into Erling Haaland. Well intercepted. Ake goes across to Akanji. That is great to hear. What have you been up to? And do you have a prediction for this game? While you're at it. How have we been getting on? What have we been getting up to? Bernardo Silva moves it into Mateo Kovacic. I really like the transfer of Kovacic to Man City. I have to say, I really do. I think he's a slightly different player to Gundogan. Not a direct replacement. But I think he does offer a lot of the things Manchester City like in a midfielder. I think he's very, very press resistant. I think he's a very good dribbler. And I think he can offer more goals than he has. And he needs to. If he is going to be a De Bruyne, a Gundogan replacement. I do like Kovacic. I really do. What are your thoughts on the Højlund injury? I mean, it's not great. And For me, that's not great to see. Burnley fans, a Burnley fan has just launched something at Nico Lewis. That's fucking disgraceful. Whoever that was deserves banning for life. But yeah, like I was going to say, the Højlund injury isn't great. That being said, Højlund is a long-term thing. He will play this season, and he is already a good player. But Højlund, he's going to start this season and will probably be our first choice striker this season. But realistically, Højlund isn't what Haaland is, what Kane is, like Lewandowski, someone who is what you see is what you get. That's not what Højlund is, because he is still so young. He's still going to grow. So it's not ideal, no, but I can deal with it. As Burnley got a score here. Rodri with an incredible last-ditch challenge. I think he just gets a touch on that to take it away from the number 25, Zeki Amaduni. Incredible challenge. But yeah, I mean, if we were signing a player that is in his pomp, then I'll be a little bit more worried and annoyed by it. But realistically, Højlund will be fine. Rashford will play central while Højlund can't play. Martial will play at some point, I'm sure. It's annoying, but generally, we've brought him for how good he will be in 3 or 4 years, not necessarily for how good he is now. As Foster comes so close to finding that back post. Rodri trying to play it out. It was a good interception from Foster. Akanji just dives in. He skips past him, cuts inside, looks to bend to that back post. Just wide of it. Really poor from Manchester City. Not what you expect. And maybe that's just their minute catching up to Rodri. He was speaking in the press as Burnley have a chance here. Good chance from the Spaniard. You were saying he played too many minutes really last year, and it's not sustainable. I mean, they brought Calvin Phillips in to stop Rodri having to play so many minutes, and it didn't really happen for Calvin Phillips, did it? This year, you'd hope he's going to play a bit more and give Rodri that rest when needs be. Hasn't obviously happened today. Maybe that lapse of concentration could be a thing that's come. Gunnar was on another gravy. Was a whole another gravy. Kovacic is not the one. He is a little above mid. I would say I like Kovacic. I don't know if he's a little bit above mid. I would say I think he is one of the better midfielders in the Premier League. I mean, I think a double pivot of Rodri and Kovacic would be great. I really, really do. I would have happily, hear me out, Manchester United. I would have happily, instead of having Mason Mount here, I would have happily had Kovacic. Happily. Yes, Liverpool are well and truly in the mud. But I was speaking to one of my Liverpool friend, my Liverpool fan friends, and I just don't understand how Liverpool have found themselves in this situation. Because we were all saying last year how mudded Fabinho is, how he was done. They somehow managed to get 40 million euros for him from the Saudis. How they did that, I don't know. But either way, they knew they had to replace him, and he should have been sold. Henderson is the only midfielder that they didn't know was gonna leave. Because you don't plan to sell your captain. Really, do you? The only reason he left was because they got good money for him, and Henderson saw the 300k a week he was going to get in Saudi Arabia and the chance to play with probably his idol in Steven Gerrard, and went, absolutely get me there. So, as I say, the deal, that's the only transfer Liverpool shouldn't have been prepared for. So how are they left 2 days until their season starts without a number 6? Because Henderson isn't a 6, and he was never going to be a 6 this season. So how are they in this situation where they're bidding 110 million for Moises Caicedo, or potentially 100 million for Tchouaméni? Especially then when 2 days ago they were bartering over 6 million for Romeo Lavia. It screams incompetency from Liverpool. But what I think this does pinpoint is the hypocrisy of Liverpool fans in regards to the Glazers. I've always said that I don't think their owners isn't as bad as, well, I have always thought FSG, they're not great owners, but they're not as bad as Liverpool fans like to make out, because while they don't invest loads in the playing squad, they've always had a competitive team. Realistically, whatever Klopp actually really needed, generally he's always got, more or less. And they've done well building the stadium, the facilities, and so on. Whereas the Glazers haven't. But the biggest criticism Manchester United fans always get for hating the Glazers is, oh, you've spent money. You've always spent money. So how can you hate the Glazers when you spent money? And it's the same reason why FSG and Liverpool fans want FSG out now. They've spent loads of money this summer, and they're offering to 100 million on Caicedo or Tchouaméni. However much they've spent on Szoboszlai, and 60 million on Szoboszlai, 30 million on McAllister. Spent 60 million on Núñez last summer. How much on Gakpo? They've spent a lot of money in the last few years, but they've left themselves, because they've not planned, and because they've not prepared, like the Glazers never do. There's no joined up thinking, really, it seems. They're now 2 days away from the start of the season. They haven't got what they need, and that's why FSG and Liverpool fans want FSG out, and that's why United always want the Glazers out. Because, yeah, we spend money, but it's about 3 weeks late. So it always puts us on the back burner. And because we do deals late, we then overspend. And here comes Kyle Walker, pulls it back. Julian Alvarez gives it to Haaland, first time, off the crossbar and in. Erling Haaland has a second. Manchester City have a second. And the alien is here to stay. The bloke is far too good at football. How is this fair? It's Manchester City blowing Burnley away. You give this guy a chance and he scores. And it's Foden and Kyle Walker at the heart of it. Foden played through Walker. He found Julian Alvarez. And that finish from Erling Haaland is absolutely outrageous. On the swivel, into the top corner. My God. Appreciate that. Pick that out. Wow. That is magnificent from Erling Haaland. Haaland doing Haaland things. Absolutely. The guy is a robot. He is so good at football. People doubted him. People really doubted this freak. My God, here comes Burnley. Foster! His shot is deflected and behind for a corner for Burnley. Why the fuck we sold Fred for 10 million? We should have sold him for the Saudi League. Well, no one from the Saudi League wanted him. Otherwise, I'm sure we would have. I tell you what, though. I mean, I'm taking 10 million for Fred. Well, it's weird. Would I take 10 million for Fred? Yes. Because I think he should be sold. Realistically, Fred isn't good enough. But at the same time, he's a useful player to have. But he just now another player that needs to be replaced. If we replace him with Amrabat, great business. Great business. What I'm blown away by is apparently West Ham offered £30 million to Scott McTominay. And Manchester United rejected it! How? Why? £30 million to Scott McTominay! And we've gone, you know what, actually, we'll keep him. That is mental. Absolutely mental. Both of them need shipping off. If you ship one off, make sure it's McTominay for 30 million as well. Because Fred, he was like our third most used player last season in terms of games played. Because whether he started or not, he always came on to help us see a game out. So I do find it a bit weird. We are selling Fred for so little when we could have sold McTominay for so much. Given we used Fred a lot and we didn't use McTominay at all. Obviously, I know there's regulations United need to follow, and McTominay helps that. So like academy graduates, they're homegrown and stuff. I get all that. But come on. We've got so many homegrown players in that squad. Rashford. We've got... I didn't celebrate it. I haven't celebrated a Man City goal. I'm commentating on a game. I'm reporting on a game. Honestly, how boring do you think these streams would be if every time Man City scored, I went, and that's 1-0 Manchester City. Erling Haaland scored. Yeah, that's 2-0 Manchester City. Haaland scored again. These streams would be so boring. I appreciate seeing a great goal. And that is what we saw from Erling Haaland. But if you want to see me celebrating goals, just you wait until Monday. Go back and watch any of my streams. The Bruno Fernandes penalty in the FA Cup final. Go watch that. That's me celebrating a goal. I don't think we will. Against Gary O'Neill's Wolves. Gary O'Neill's Wolves, I'm pretty confident. Because it... Look, Gary O'Neill did well to keep Bournemouth up last year. But he is a bad manager. He is a bad manager still. Don't get it twisted. Statistically, Bournemouth was still the worst team in the league. On pretty much every metric you looked at. So, yes, he did well to keep him up. But Wolves will go down under Gary O'Neill. I'll tell you what. I'm on the Man United watch-along. How long have I been on here for? What am I looking for? There we go. I don't even know who you support. But I mean, having the best player from a Champions League winning team, what, a year ago? 2 years ago? I'll take that. But there's the fantasy football, for those who care. 18 points for my big man Erling alone. He'll get 3 bonus points to boot. Look at that. He's already clear. Easy. Easy as you like for big man Erling. Go on then. XDC. Who do you support? Who do you support, lad? Radio silence. Come on. Liverpool? Because, I mean, as far as I'm aware, Liverpool in 2020, Moises Caicedo was all over wanting to join Manchester United. And we actually rejected him. And in 2023, you actually put your bollocks on the line and went, he's 110 million, join us. And he's actually turned you down for Chelsea. Like that. Imagine that. Imagine having the big balls to go to Brighton, a Brighton player, and going, go on, join us. 110 million. Smashing the British transfer record, being the most expensive player in Premier League history. Unless I'm forgetting somebody. I don't think I am. And then them at Brighton going, actually, lad, I'm alright. I'm waiting for fucking Chelsea, who, need I remind you, aren't in Europe this year. Five minutes of the first. That's a. Oh! Somebody's a little bit salty. Did you see the Liverpool fans? I saw someone saying if they got Caicedo, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, that would be the best midfield in the Premier League. Now, I mean, it's a laughable thing to say. As Foden's in here, why is he not past it? Phil Foden goes down. He wants a penalty. It's so greedy from Foden. He could quite easily knock it to Erling Haaland for his hat-trick and to completely kill this game off. But he selfishly goes alone just knock it there, but doesn't. And it's not a penalty for me. But yeah, so apparently that midfield three of Moises Caicedo, Szoboszlai and McAllister would be the best midfield in the Premier League. So what they're saying is if Brighton signs Szoboszlai last season, they would have had the best midfield in the Premier League. Because that's all Liverpool are doing. They've just taken their blueprint from a couple of years ago with Southampton and moved it slightly is it east on the coast? I don't know where whereabouts on the coast Southampton is compared to Brighton, but slightly down coast, further around the coast to Brighton. Like, what a ridiculous statement to make. From this season, Casemiro's downfall will start and you'll suffer badly. Can't be worse than what we saw from Fabinho last year. It really can't. Because that guy stunk it. And Bruno is nothing more than a crybaby. I tell you what, that's a great golden boot for Darwin Núñez. That is a great golden boot for Darwin Núñez. Your fight for Conference League. I mean, as it stands, mate, you're going to be fighting for relegation. I mean, a midfield of Szoboszlai, McAllister, and what? Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones. Well, I mean, you might play Budgick. I mean, he's all right. I mean, not better than Kobe Mainoo, but he will do, I suppose. Who else do you have? Harvey Elliott. He's good. Yeah, I'm running out of names here. You know what? I'm happy with Mason Mount. I'm happy for Mason Mount. I know Mason Mount rejected. I know Liverpool really wanted Mason Mount, and United got him. But honestly, I believe that you're not envious of our midfield. Because I mean, what Szoboszlai? No, he wouldn't walk into our midfield. McAllister, no, not McAllister either. Okay, no, Curtis Jones wouldn't either. I mean, they would make our bench. So, fair enough. Well done. Torpedo or Pavard? I don't know. I like Pavard in the sense that he can play as a right back. And I mean, look, we go over to this. So how a lot of top teams play is like this. So you have your wingers kind of out wide. You play kind of two number 10s. And it's kind of how Man City do. And you have one player invert. And you have then three centre backs like that. So in this sort of shape, I mean, in pre-season we had Lissandro actually move up into midfield, and that's in the first phase, and that's why Onana is so crucial now, because he can play the ball, the line breaking balls into the likes of Lissandro. So set up like this, Benjamin Pavard can play as a right back, can start as a right back, and then when we come into this, he can then become the centre back, and he will be able to do that perfectly. As well, when if Luke Shaw inverts, again, work. And obviously Pavard can play as a right back as well. Did it for France, has done it for Bayern Munich. So in that sense, I'm taking Pavard. However, as a straight up centre half to replace Maguire, I'd probably take Tobido. But I mean, I'm taking either of them. Both of them are very good. There we go. Imagine doing a watch along of City games. Times are hard for United fans. That is a sick burn, Margie. Sick burn. Sick burn. Oh, you've got me. You've really hit me. You really hit me where it hurts there. You know what? You're right. You are right. You know what? I retire. I retire. I can't do this anymore. Because you are so right. Psych! Lad. Lad. I'm going to give you an opportunity here. I'm going to give you an opportunity, XDC. Because I need to go fill my water bottle, my glass of water up. That will take me roughly 5 minutes. I'll be gone for. In those 5 minutes, my task for you is think of a better insult or comeback or something than imagine watching other games of football. Okay? Because I've got a better insult just off the back of yours than yours is of mine. If I'm the quote unquote sad one for watching a Man City game, you're a Liverpool fan, probably watching the Man City game anyway, but then you're watching a Man United fan watch the Man City game. So you're worse. So, as I say, 5 minutes, think of a better insult. Please. I'm counting on it. I'm counting on it. Please. Please do it. Right. I'll be back. Right, I've given XDC. Come on. I've given you plenty of time. Come on. You must have something for me. Come on, pull something out the bag. I am ready. I am ready to be insulted. Come on. Imagine being hijacked by Chelsea. They're not. The thing is, Chelsea don't even have European football. That's the thing. Like, there is no excuse for wanting to join Chelsea over you. Like, Liverpool, the bigger club. It is just embarrassing. They don't rate you, mate. He just doesn't rate you. That's the worst of it. Like, they don't. He don't respect you. He don't rate you. And that's gotta hurt. That has got to hurt. Just a little bit. But look, if you look at the Fantasy Premier League app, I don't know why I'm holding up as if that was ever going to work. Get used to seeing this. Goals, number one, Erling Haaland. Get used to it. Because we're going to see that all season long. The bloke just knows how to put the ball in the back of the net, doesn't he? He's just quite good at it. As the players walk back out, Haaland and Pep in quite the conversation. Haaland got his hair down. Imagine buying Chelsea's crap for 60 million. I gave you so much time. I gave you so much time, and you've come up with that. Your response for being rejected by Chelsea, for us saying you got rejected by a player rejected you so he could sign for Chelsea, is we took Chelsea's vice captain because he was captain. He was ahead of well, he would have been Chelsea's captain this year because he would have been captain over Reece James. Their best player from the year they won the Champions League, and for two out of the last 3 seasons, their best player. Their best academy graduate for, well, since what? John Terry? John Terry came through at West Ham, didn't he? Yeah. Oh, no, he came through at Chelsea, really. Brilliant. Max was just off. So, again, it's not quite the sick burn you seem to think it is. Also, Second half is underway. Here we go. When Pep leaves the Premier League, sooner rather than later, I hope. There we go. We'll read this last headline and then be done with it. Inside, Mason Mount's move to Manchester United as Arsenal and Liverpool snubbed after Eric Ten Hag chat. So even you went for Mason Mount. You went for Mason Mount. But he turned you down for Manchester United and Eric Ten Hag. So your best insult of the night even backfires on you. This ain't going very well for you. I think, but in terms of Manchester City and their dominance, I think everybody's really bored of it, ain't they? Like nobody watches it. Like enjoys watching Man City just romp to the title every year. I mean that's why everyone was so excited about Arsenal last year. Like, do we want? No one really wants Arsenal to win the league, do they? But if it's that or Man City, it's nice for a change. Like, I mean, the only time I haven't enjoyed when someone else has won the league over Man City was when it was Liverpool. So at least you have that. There you go. At least you have that over me. Well done, XDC. You have the fact that Liverpool won the league more recently than Man United. So well done. Hope you put that in your pipe and smoke it. Okay, lovely ball looking from Rico Lewis. Well defending from Burnley as they look to play it out. Sander Berg finds Foster. Foster looking for an option. Looks to play it in down the line, but it's a really poor pass. And it's well dealt with in the end by Manchester City as Ederson rolls out to Rodri. Rodri will just walk it out for Manchester City. So in terms of Harry Kane, he is in Germany as we speak ahead of his medical for Bayern Munich. So it looks as if that deal is going to happen and we're going to have Harry Kane out of this bloody Premier League, man. I mean, it's not looking good for Ange and his Spurs side, is it? Who they got left to play up top? You got Richarlison. You got fucking Kim Min Son. I mean, they're not great options to be your number 9, are they, long term? Like, I like Son, he can play up top. But he's best on the left. I don't know. It smells problems for me. Spurs, and I have to say the centre forward market ain't great, is it? And have they got European football next year? I don't believe they do. What, Liverpool and Brighton got the Europa League spots, and Aston Villa got the Conference League spot. The Spurs, no, they don't have European football next year. I didn't think they did. They're done. Who do they buy? Because and this is one of the problems with Ange. He might be a good manager, but he doesn't have the pull. And this is what I mean. Now look, I'll give Liverpool a bit of credit here. You look at Chelsea, they have Poch. You look at Man United, we have Ten Hag, Klopp, Liverpool. Or Liverpool Klopp, sorry. These are managers that have a pull, who players want to go to these clubs because they look at the manager, they say, I want to play under him. He's going to get this club where I want to be playing. I can take a year out of playing the Champions League, out of playing European football, because I know under this manager, under his philosophy, under his guidance, he will get us back there. And they've earned that right through what the success they've had at previous clubs or at the clubs they're currently at. So Ten Hag has earned that right through his work at Ajax, and I mean the job he's done so far at Man United. Pochettino did that at Spurs, then at PSG, now he's at Chelsea. Klopp at Dortmund, obviously, and what he's done at Liverpool has been nothing short of fantastic. As Erling Haaland has a shot blocked from O'Shea, it's out for a corner for Manchester City. Managers earn the right and earn a pull. Ange Postecoglou does not have that pull. Nobody goes, I want to play under Ange Postecoglou. Nobody does that. Because you don't get that pulling power through Celtic. And Spurs as a club, no offence, doesn't have that either. Stop the cap is a bit exaggerating. You literally beg for Frankie de Jong. Yeah, but the difference between that, Frankie de Jong, is he's at Barcelona. Like the club that he's always dreamed of playing for. Like it's not a case that he wouldn't want to play for Erik ten Hag and Man United. It's a case that he's always wanted to play for Barcelona. And his wife's Mason Mount deal for Manchester United is so huge. It's like, and what, like, if someone came in for Rashford would never want to leave Manchester United, especially while the fans love him, which Barcelona fans love Frankie de Jong. So I'm not saying that. I mean, the argument is certainly there. I would argue Man United and Barcelona are the two of the biggest clubs in world football. I'm not going to debate who's bigger, because you can make the argument for both. But guessing Frankie de Jong out of Barcelona is like guessing Marcus Rashford out of Manchester United. Like, it's never going to happen unless he is forced out. Especially when he's playing week in, week out. That is my point. But Bukayo Saka, do you ever see him leaving Arsenal? Because, as far as I'm aware, Real Madrid could come in for Saka. As long as Arsenal are doing very well in the Premier League, they're doing well in Europe, all things, well, I mean, Barcelona is slightly disappointing in Europe, but they won the La Liga last year. If Arsenal continues to challenge, Saka will not leave Arsenal. And Man City and whoever else can do as much as they want to try and get him, it won't happen. And that is the situation Frankie de Jong is in. He wants to be at Barcelona. He's always wanted to be at Barcelona. And now he's there. Unless he has to leave and forced out, why would he ever want to leave? Especially for a club who at the time, or as it stands, aren't doing as well. In terms of La Liga, Barcelona just won it. Man United aren't close to one last year going to be challenging for a Premier League title. Won't happening. 2 Champions League finals would not cause a hinge. I'm choosing the bigger one. What? I don't know what you mean, to be honest. 2 Champions League finals would not cause a hinge choosing the bigger one. I have no idea what that means. We've got a video of Harry Kane arriving in Bayern Munich in Germany for his medicals. Crazy. Bayern Munich. Harry Kane will actually be a Bayern Munich player. Man City kind of just going through the gears here. Just kind of just happy to keep the ball, going through the motions. Kovacic, Rodri. Bayern not looking good overall. Are they not? They've just signed Harry Kane. They've got a top coach in Thomas Tuchel. I wouldn't say they're looking too bad. Is there something going on there that I'm not sure about? They got Kim Min Jae, quality centre half. I know they've got an issue with goalkeeper. Because Manuel Neuer isn't fully back yet, is he? Or something like that. No. But having about Ulreich isn't great. I mean, go get David De Gea. Just get David De Gea. But I mean, the defense is stacked with quality. And Pamecano, Kim Min Jae, De Ligt, Havard, Alfonso Davies, Guerrero, Mazawi. That is incredible defensive depth. Kimmich, Goretzka, Conrad Lima, Gravenberch, Musiala. Not a bad set of midfielders. You maybe want a few more, potentially. Certainly not bad as Erling Haaland is through here. Gives it to Julian Alvarez. Takes it a bit wide and fires wide. It's really poor from Julian Alvarez, really. And then forwards, Gnabry, Sane, Coman, Muller. Not bad. You got Choupo-Moting. You're about to add Kane to that. Good group of players there. David De Gea, hypocrisy. I mean, I'm not saying long term. But as a short-term option, while you've got nobody else, it's not bad. Not bad, is it? We've just got some changes for Burnley. You just update the team for that. Make sure they're the right ones. There we go. Turns out I had the wrong strike. The Burnley team was wrong this whole time. Tuchel's not a Bayern type coach, IMO. Is he not? Because I know Tuchel's has been kind of touted for that Bayern job for years. Before he went to PSG, he was touted for that job. And look, I mean, you look at the job Tuchel did at Chelsea. Short-term success, which is what Bayern are kind of built on. He did. Came in, won the Champions League straight away. The amount of cup finals he got to as well with them. Which really, I felt he was let down as opposed to he let them down. Won in the Bundesliga as well. I mean, slightly lucky circumstances. It went down to the final game and Dortmund went and bloody bottled it. Missing a penalty, didn't they? But generally, Tuchel's a good coach, good fit for Bayern. And like I said about De Gea, you get De Gea in for the season until Neuer's back, and then you replace De Gea. You give him a 1 year contract. There we go, all done and dusted. I mean, it's the same with Real Madrid and Courtois. Get someone in to see for the time being. If you want a top class, if you want a good goalkeeper, he's there. Chelsea was lucky. Well, yeah, but he still did it, didn't he? Like that Chelsea team was never going to win the Champions League off pure skill, was it? Like you have fucking Timo Werner up top. But like that being said, they were a very, very hard team to beat. That five at the back, with N'Golo Kante and Jorginho as a double pivot, that was naughty. And Kante just sweeping up, Jorginho just dictating. You have Mount and Havertz would just drop in and help creativity wise, but then could also get forward. And Timo Werner, for all of his criticism, and there's quite a lot you could give him, you could throw at him for his time at Chelsea, especially in regards to his finishing. The runs he make create space. And you look at the Champions League winning goal, that comes from Timo Werner and the run he makes to open up the defence for Kai Havertz. Not great here from Man City. Bring it down. Can you go down the line? That one of the greatest bit of, I don't even know what you'd call it from Burnley, but they have it here. Sander Berge. We haven't really seen much of him, and that is nicely floated ball forward, but Edison's quick off his line. Rodri. Mateo Kovacic. Just been dragged to the floor there, Mateo Kovacic, by Brun Larsen. Free kick to Manchester City. "27 touches for Sander Berge today. How many passes in general? "24 attempted. That must be like a game low. Rodri has it. Good shot. Well blocked. I haven't used who scored in ages. Haaland has it in the box. Well defended, and it's out for a corner for Manchester City. No, 24. It's not a low. Quite low though. Only Burnley's forward and Vitinho have got less. Okay, has gone down in the box. Hold on. I don't think it's going to be a penalty. I think it is just going to be the corner retaken. Vandenberg hasn't made a tackle. Hasn't dribbled. Not looking good for your debut. 27 touches for Sanderberg. That is pretty low. Coutinho and Berg is having shockers. Kovacic maybe not been in the game as much as you like since he came on. I speak for all of fans. Say Potter should be their manager. Flop is. I really like Graham Potter. I stand by. Potter should not have been sacked by Chelsea. I stand by that. I think eventually they were coming good. They were coming good. And they would have come good. But instead, they decided to sack him and get Frank Lampard. I get sacking Potter if straight away you bring in an Enrique, a Poch, straight away then. But they didn't. They sacked him to bring Frank Lampard back. And it went from bad to worse under Frank Lampard. So I didn't get it. If you sack Potter, at least bring in a manager that is going to do a good job. Like, Potter proved he was a good manager, and he can build teams. And if from everything that we've seen from Thomas Boehly is he wants a project. You look at the massively long contracts he's given out to pretty much everyone. He's looking to build for the future and build a team that is going to last, as opposed to the quick success and that was the Abramovich model. Same thing we see with Bayern and with Real Madrid. That didn't happen. And they didn't give Graham Potter the chance to fail and to kind of move this squad on. Lampard better than Ragnick. Okay, What do you want me to say? Ralph Ragnick, he was a disaster as well. Yeah. We won more games with Ragnick than Chelsea did with Lampard. But it's shit versus garbage, really. It really is. I mean, I'm happy because I can look back at the Ragnick time at Manchester United and laugh. I saw earlier, we went into a game against Norwich with a midfield three of Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes and Jesse Lingard, with Nemanja Matic sat on the bench. There was no reason not to have a single defensive-minded midfielder in that game, but we decided to anyway. We played against Liverpool. And we went with a team. We had a midfield of Nemanja Matic, Matic, Lingard, and Bruno. And a back three which included Phil fucking Jones. If you don't look back at that and laugh, you'll cry. The 4-2-2. I didn't even think it was that bad. The choices behind some of them was bizarre. But that in within itself wasn't that bad. We got a change. 36 for 10. Who is 36? Is that bizarre? One of the centre backs. What's going on? So who's coming on and who's coming off? 5. 5 off and 10 is on. It's Jordan. Jordan Bayer. Benson. Jordan Bayer is off. So is this going to be a change to a 4-2-3-1 then? Yes. Yes, it is. I think it could still be a free. I don't even know at this point. There's a free kick to Burnley here. Foden and is that Alvarez standing over it? It is. Delivered. Rodri! It's 3-0. I'm not quite sure how that's fallen to Rodri, but it has. And it is 3-0 Manchester City. And if the game wasn't already over, it certainly is now. The ball gets swung in from Julian Alvarez. I think it's Rodri and Harden both attack it. None of them really get hold of it. And it just ends up falling at the feet of Rodri. He just swipes it in. Haaland goes for it, misses it. It actually comes off the head of number 28. I think that's... Is that Cullen? No, that's... Ain't... Al... The centre half. Ake attacks it. And Rodri sweeps home. There we go. Another one, typical City. And the changes are coming now. Gavardio, Laporte, and Cole Palmer. Ball comes in from the corner from Burnley. Cleared away by Phil Foden. Right, there's been a statement from Burnley about in regards to something being thrown at Rico Lewis in the first half. This is what has been said. We are aware of an incident that happened in the first half of the match where a missile was thrown at Manchester City player Rico Lewis. This is unacceptable. The person responsible has been identified and removed from the ground by the police. Any individual found guilty of throwing missiles within the stadium will receive a banning order. As Erling Haaland now comes forward into Alvarez, cuts inside, shoots, blocked. Good defending from Manchester City. So far, we've only seen the one change from Manchester City, and that is Kovacic obviously coming on. But we're about to see a handful. Gavardio coming on for Rico Lewis. Ake off for Laporte. And Cole Palmer will come on for Erling Haaland. So I imagine this will see Alvarez move central. Palmer will operate off of the right. No, Burnley haven't been awful. They've put up a good counter themselves. And it's actually going to be Palmer off of the left. Foden will move out to the right. What we made of Foden today? I don't know. He's done bits here and there, but like generally, has he done much? Not really for me. Foster. Burnley strike. Well blocked. Here's Emmanuel Benson. Still Benson. Looks to get the cross in, well blocked. Out for a corner for Burnley. 10 minutes to play. Gavardio obviously making his Manchester City debut today. Back to Benson. What would he do? Just gives it to Connor Roberts. Nice ball into Zakari. Benson. Looks to take on Mateo Kovacic. Beats him and wins a corner. He does win a corner. Your predictions for next season in Premier League and Champions League. By next season, do you mean this season now? Obviously, this is the first game. If you mean for this season, I think it's hard to judge. I don't think we had a great pre-season. But I trust us to switch it on now. Season starting. Top 4 easily. I think we'll get top 4. I think we'll push. I think we'll push for the title, but we'll fall away just at the end. I think we'll fall away just at the end. I don't think we'll be as close to Man City as Arsenal were this year. But I think we'll push them. Champions League, it's a lottery for me. I don't think we'll win it, and because of that, we'll get out the group. Well, actually, I'm not even 100% sure how the fucking group stage works. Like, it's a big league, in it now, so I'm not 100% sure how it works. Let alone how well we'll do in it. I think we'll be. How many groups are there? We'll be some of the best. We'll get through to the knockout round, I'm sure. And then when you get there, it's about who you draw. It's the luck of the draw at that point. Hopefully, we'll do well in the Champions League and we'll go on to the semis. But like I say, it's a complete lottery. You could get, let's say, I think Man City will win it again, just for argument's sake. If you get Man City in the round of 16 and you lose it, what can you do? You've played the team that is probably going to go win it. But if at the same time we could get, again, for the sake of argument, I know they're obviously not in it, but we get Burnley in the round of 16, then obviously you expect to at least make the quarterfinals. But on a good account of ourselves in the Champions League, and then to be pushing for the title come March. If we fall away after March, so be it. But that, for me, I'll be very happy with that season. And then next year, following year, that's when then I want to be seeing us actually going all the way, pushing for the title, looking to try and win the Champions League. And Ketty is good. He was good for you last year. Came on in the Community Shield, did a great job as well. Respect Eddie Nketiah. Here's Foden. Oh, he's so bad, Phil Foden there. Get the shot away. He has a great chance to get the shot away, but looks to try and beat his man again. But I find Foden and players that do that so frustrating. You've got to get the shot away. Who has ever scored by not shooting? Nobody. Get the shot away, man. It frustrates me so much because Rashford's the same. So many Man United players do it. And it pisses me off. You've just got to shoot sometimes. I don't know if because I used to be a striker and that's why. But it's one of my pet peeves. People don't shoot. As Mateo Kovacic has it, brings it forward, finds Julian Alvarez. Foden. Kyle Walker. Cross to Akanji. Rodri. Akanji again. Gavardio. Laporte. Back to Edison. And these last 5 minutes will be a little bit tedious, a little bit boring, I imagine. It will just be Man City running the clock down, just going through the gears. We might see another chance. Here is Phil Foden driving forward. Julian Alvarez made a good run. Good ball from Foden. Good save by Trafford and cleared away by Dara O'Shea. That's what we want to see, a bit more of that. Some dickheads jumped into the pitch. Get a life, mate. I find it so strange. Like, you've just got promoted back to the Premier League. You've got a young, exciting team and manager. And you've gone and jumped on the fucking pitch opening day. And now you're going to be stadium banned. You can't go to another game this season. It's stupid. If I get, well, I don't get it in general, but if you're, let's say, a Man United fan, And I use United because we've got a global fan base. Realistically, Burnley don't have many fans abroad. Obviously, they'll have some, but nowhere to the levels of Man United and other big European teams. I can somewhat understand if you're only going to go to Old Trafford once in a season or once every few years because you can't afford it, or you don't live in the UK. And I mean, it's still stupid. I still don't like it, but I can see why someone might do it. Just say, "Oh yeah, I've been on Old Trafford," and the band doesn't really matter to you anyway because you're not gonna go again. But you live in Burnley, lad. Chances are there's gonna be an opportunity for you to go again this season. So why would you jump on the pitch first game of the season and lose the opportunity to do that, to go again this season? I think it's moronic. I hate it. Big up yourself, Assad. Big up yourself. Much love, bro. Much love. Cavalli, I was really messed it up there. But do you guys see what I'm getting at there? Also, what time is it for you in Pakistan then? It's actually 2 o'clock in the morning. And I know people who watch these streams. They're in Malaysia, all over the world, and I say this all the time. I find it ridiculous. I find the whole support your local stuff ridiculous, and you're not a true fan if you're not from where. For the argument's sake of United, you're not a true fan if you're not born in Manchester. You don't live in Manchester. You don't go to games. I find that ridiculous. Pre-season for Manchester United was in Europe, was in like America, for example. Manchester United. So we had games at 3 o'clock in the morning. Did I stay up and watch all those games? No, I did not. I watched some of them. But I wasn't staying up. Assad here, and sorry if that's not how you pronounce your name. You are up at 2 o'clock in the morning watching Burnley Manchester City. And people will try and say you're not a true football fan, or you're not a true Man United fan, or whatever team you support. And I find that ridiculous. You are. I mean, watch Arsenal Fan TV when they would do some of their watch-alongs for the pre-season in America. Some of them guys are falling asleep watching the games. Is that Brownhill coming on? It is. And Foster's off for Redmond. Yeah, you're here, and I imagine you do this pretty much most weeks. You're just there at 2 a.m, waking yourself up to watch the games. Exactly, it's crazy. I respect people who do that so much. I really, really do. Because I don't know if I could do that. To be honest, I probably would for Man United, but would I be there at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch Burnley Man City opening day? I don't know. I remember I did the Copa America when Messi won it, and that was at like 3 or 4 a.m. and I was absolutely knackered doing that. And that's like one of the only games I've been up proper like early hours in the morning doing a stream, and I felt dead. And so to have to do that pretty much every weekend is a joke. Exactly. Madness. Madness. Like I say, I can't respect it enough. I hope the game's been entertaining for you, and I hope I've been able to keep you entertained as well. It's a dream to watch United play at Old Trafford one day. So that day would be my craziest one. I watched. I don't get to go to Old Trafford often. I've been. Zakaria is getting sent off. Thank you. You are too kind. That's sad. Zara, how do you pronounce that name? He's off. He's just studied Kyle Walker in the back of the leg. Walker's running through. He slid him to try and win the ball. Walker's got in front of him, and it's straight to the back of the calf. It's a red card, and it's a clear red card. But yeah, so I went to watch. I think it was Boxing Day 2011. Manchester United. We beat Wigan 5-0. Dimitar Berbatov hat-trick. That was the first time I went to watch Manchester United play. Unreal. I went not last year, but the year before. I didn't go to Old Trafford, but I went to the London Stadium with my brother and my dad. Watched West Ham Man United when we beat them 2-1. We was in the West Ham end because my brother and my dad support West Ham. That last minute penalty saved from De Gea nearly got me killed. So I was stood there. I was sat there. They win the penalty, and I'm like, shit. Then on the sideline, you can see Mark Noble. He jumps up because he was warming up or whatever anyway. All of a sudden, Mark Noble jumps up from his seat, strips off to take the penalty, and my dad and my brother are going, yes, Mark Noble don't miss. Mark Noble does not miss. And then he takes the penalty. And no, he steps up to take the penalty. And I'm going, knowing De Gea doesn't save penalties. At this point, De Gea hadn't saved a penalty for about 3 years. I'm going, De Gea's going to save it. De Gea's going to save it. And I go, he's going this way. He's going that way. Mark Noble steps up. De Gea dives the right way and saves it. I celebrate. I go, yes! Remember, I'm surrounded by West Ham fans and go, shit. Just about got away with it. There you go. So, Man City have made their last change. McAteer's on. I don't have a player for him, so you're gonna have to do with a blackface. There you go. New Premier League rules for additional time. Is it a good move or not? I don't like it personally. I mean, I don't think this has been that bad. I mean, 6 minutes. It's 2 minutes longer than normal, and we had 5 minutes in the first half. Given the De Bruyne injury, I don't think that was too bad either. But if we start seeing 8-9 minutes regularly, I don't like that. I think what Varane said was pretty well perfect. We all complain about fixture congestion. The players complain about fixture congestion. Making the games even longer isn't going to help that. It's just going to make it worse. Going to see more injuries. And at the end of the day, teams waste time against the likes of Manchester City because they are so good, and they lose 90% of the time anyway still. Is the league going to be any better with Burnley having... We'll go Luton. With Luton having to play an extra 20 minutes against Manchester City? No, it's not. So what is the point of it? Because that's where a lot of the time wasting really goes against. I don't know. Call me. I might. I might be wrong, but that's just my 2 cents. I think it's time you blew the full time whistle, mate. I think we're gonna see the final whistle kind of blow here. Have a good night, bro. You too. I mean, the game's gonna be about to end any time now. So I guess we can kind of start signing off here. Are we? I'm gonna blow. Come on, ref, just blow the whistle. Like, I'm at a point where we're so close to the end. I don't want to start signing off until the final whistle goes. Like, he's put his whistle to his mouth. Just blow it. And there we go. Full time in the opening game of the Premier League. It's Burnley 0, Manchester City 3. A thoroughly deserved 3 points for Manchester City as their total defence gets off to the perfect start. Can Man City go on to win it all over again? They certainly can. And with that freak of a striker in Erling Haaland up top, not many teams will stop them this year. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button below. Subscribe if you are new and you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated. I have thoroughly enjoyed this watch along, and I'm very happy to be back doing the watch alongs for this season. Liverpool Chelsea on Sunday we might be doing. We certainly will be doing Manchester United Wolves on Monday night. So please do ensure you are subscribed and got the notification bells ticked so you are aware of when we go live for those. We will have a preview for the Manchester United match out either tomorrow or on Sunday. So again, please do stay tuned for that. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Get involved in the live chat. It's all been greatly appreciated. It means a lot. I've had fun. I hope you guys have as well. And I'll see you all in the next one in a bit. Peace.